Shalom. Hey honeys, how are you doing? A lot of y'all have had a lot of questions after the last video that I put up. Y'all been asking me questions about me being an Israelite and everything of that nature. So I decided to start a series where I talk about my modesty journey, just to help anybody else that is also going through a similar journey in their life. You get what I'm saying? Me personally, I leave my old videos up so that you guys can see the clear transformation. This is what I'm saying. I also leave my old pictures up too on my IG so that you can see the modesty transformation over time. Now, a lot of you are like, well, why? Why are you on a modesty journey? This is the first part of it. It's called Modesty Journey, the Beginning. So the reason why I'm on this modesty journey is because the Most High Yah wanted me to be on this journey. You guys have seen it in, different steps. You've seen him remove different things in my life in steps. Like on my channel, I've always talked about the Most High. I've always talked about him. I've always talked about scripture and everything like that. It has always been incorporated in every aspect of my life. He has been incorporated in every aspect of my life because I know who I am and who I belong to. So what ended up happening is what you guys were seeing when I was putting out my videos. And for those of you who are my day one people, you guys were seeing him removing things. You were seeing like a deliverance process. You were seeing him remove things. The first thing that he removed from me on my modesty journey, and I've spoke a little bit about why I don't wear the makeup, and why I don't wear weave. And he removed the weave from me first. As a woman, you're like, oh, well, weave, modesty, weave, and all of the rest of that stuff. Well, why did that influence your journey? Or why did y'all remove that for you on your modesty journey? Okay, let me start off by saying this. I am not here to, be la policia to anybody in their life. You are where you are at. This is what the same thing I said in my last video, okay? There are people that are here, they high frequency, and there's people that consume low frequency type of stuff. They don't study, they don't do anything to edify their spiritual, the real them, which is your spirit, your spirit man and everything. They don't do anything to edify their spiritual life. And so you see the deficits in their actual life. And so because I wanted to edify my spiritual life, I wanted to be closer to the Most High Yah. When I began to seek him, he began to remove these things. Like he removed the weave, and he revealed to me how weave can, number one, it could cause a lot of health issues for people. Because especially like with the plastic, the synthetic stuff, that stuff is made out of a lot of stuff, which I'm not going to get into in that video. Y'all can look up the chemical components and stuff. Like some of that stuff in certain countries, they don't even sell that braiding hair to people in their own country because they know the type of stuff that it could cause. But they sell it worldwide now. You feel what I'm saying? So, certain companies is A-okay with braiding hair. Me personally, if I still wanted to get braids or something, I would probably choose wool. That's just me, because they do have braiding wool that you can use instead of the that plastic fiber stuff. Because me personally, over time, like as I researched, I felt, a lot of ladies also have like irritation, and it breaks their hair out for whatever reason. So y'all wanted me to get closer to the original image that he had for me, which a lot of women run from this. Because even though a lot of women promote modesty and, you know, modest dress, it's still you leaving Babylon alone and you separating yourself from that. You're not supposed to look like one of their representatives in the world. And the reason why I say that a lot of that stuff is worldly type of stuff. I'm not talking about braids or whatever. I'm talking about, you know, the health purposes is why I left, you know, certain braid and type of hair alone. And I removed the extensions. But I also removed the human hair extensions. And I talked to y'all a little bit about why I removed the human hair extensions. Because spiritually, I was trying to get breakthroughs and deliverance in my life. Now you like, how is weave human hair attached to that? Well, I'm gonna give y'all some examples. A lot of women, you know, they marry late, or it's like they are spiritually deficit because the weave in which wherever they got that human hair from, these people are in certain countries, like in India, they're shaving off their hair to get rid of all of the bad and negative energy. And then they're selling it. You know, the people are taking it and they're selling it. So you're spiritually getting all of the DNA and the all of that just negative stuff from that. But if y'all seen the show on Hulu, Bad Hair, that show clearly defines that. Like, if you ever seen these women who they get the and I'm not, like I said, people who are awakened to the truth, they're gonna understand what I'm saying. If you still in not in the truth, you're not gonna understand what I'm saying. But a lot of women, they suffer things like financial loss because they're paying tribute to a deity that they're getting this hair from. These people that they worship other gods. And so y'all was like, when I say don't have no other gods before me, I mean that. Like, and so that's one of the things he removed from me, because I didn't want to have any separation or anything that could hinder me from hearing from him. Your hair is your glory. So, and I thought about it. I'm like, our natural hair is like an antenna, right? Because it doesn't want to, mine doesn't lay flat for no purpose whatsoever. I would have to braid it for it to lay flat. But even then, the braids want to go like this naturally. Okay, unless I use some type of hair, my hair is not going to go like that. So, yeah, in stages. The first stage, I got rid of the weave. I got rid of, then I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna just do braids. He was like, you're not doing that either. I said remove all of it. So pretty much that's what happened. Then he removed the makeup. And a lot of y'all, like, I went over the makeup and all of that. Like, I went over this before on where that comes from, like the fallen ones, where that comes from. That could potentially put a spiritual veil over your face. That could potentially put a spiritual veil over your face from your mate, your true divine husband, from locating you. All of that stuff that women dabble into for beautification, a lot of that stuff is tied to ritual type of things that can block you from, number one, like I said, getting married at the time you're supposed to get married, financial loss, cause issues to where it puts a hindrance from your prayer life and you being close to Yah. Because I'm gonna tell you, a lot of people, they have this expression about Elohim, that, you know, Yah is love. Yes, he is love. Yehoshua is love. He loves you. But Yah clearly states, because, you know, this, I told y'all I'm not a Christian. I fully believe I have in relationship over religion. So what that means is, ethnic wise, I know who I am, okay? And I believe in the book that was originally designed for my people. the chosen people, 12 tribes. It is what it is. So with that being said, in this modesty journey, y'all, he begins to show me that, listen, what he says is, I love you. Yes, I do. But if you love me, you gonna have to keep your end of the covenant and your end of the contract, because Yah has never folded on his end of the contract. We as a people have always folded on our end of the contract. And so we end up with negative results, and then we want to try to ask Yah, why is this happening? Why a lot of women is going through this? They portraying this I'm gonna say the WH of Babylon flow. You see it all over Instagram. They got the same body, they wear the same wigs, the same makeup, the same seduction and kind of like sorcery when it comes to the makeup and all of that stuff. And nothing is modest about it. And it clearly talks about this in the scripture, how it was gonna be a lot of singing harlots and all kind of stuff going on. And it's like, it's a shame, because it's a lot of young women that they look at this like, oh, this is the motto, this is the bar, and they aspire to that, and they suffer the consequences. Anything outside of the road, of the narrow path, is gonna cause you issues. So this modesty journey, the beginning for me, Yah allowed me to see that. Like, yeah, I did look away. I felt like at that time, in that spiritual space, I felt like I looked beautiful. But was it the image that Yah initially had for me? It was not. And so when I began to shed the layers of that and get into what he wanted as from like a virtuous aspect, he began to mold me into what he actually wanted me to be. And that's what the modesty journey was about. Like, there's nothing new under the sun as far as this topic that I'm talking about. Like, our women, melanated women, Israelite women, we have always had this battle of virtue and modesty versus the other, which the Tatiana vibes. We have always had this battle, and we have suffered the consequences of this. You feel what I'm saying? Women, they'll try to deny that that ain't, they doing it, they winning with all of the vanity practices that they practice other than modesty and trying to seek the Father, to be a virtuous woman. They'll say that they're winning, that they're liberated in doing that. But you see, they the least married. You could clearly see they suffering stuff, the baldness and stuff from the wigs and the rest of that stuff, because it talks about certain stuff, the curses that came from the woman walking up proud and, prideful, arrogant, and the stuff that they was doing. In the scripture, it talks about the women, how they would use their hair to seduce. You see women when they're on Instagram and they put the strange woman hair on their head, and they just start feeling, you see them getting all sensual and all that in the camera, like they become a whole nother person. That's why if y'all haven't watched Bad Hair on Hulu, y'all should look at that. It's a clear depiction on what happens, like the possession that happens with that. And that's what really woke me up to want to do a whole modesty journey and to just leave that alone. Because when I left it alone and I chose Yah and to aspire to allow him to in, because he was always there, but it's just like respecting the relationship. Like, listen, I'm not going to deal with you until you leave all that stuff I told you to leave alone. Okay, I'm telling you, this is what I want you to get rid of, this, and this, and you got to just be willing to just do it. Because the road of you keeping, the longer you try to keep it, you're going to look around your life and see that you're not gaining anything from the vanity of that. These women, This is why I had the video about the IG model where I said modesty is necessary. These women, they do all of that. A lot of times you see them, they don't have no man. They got a wine club membership, probably got a pet or two. And it's just like they're not happy, but they think being sensual and doing all of this stuff. I talked about it in the videos that I have about Derek Jackson and how people made fun of his wife because she was into church and the rest of that stuff. But they boosted the females that were the side piece chicks that was in too tight leggings and the rest of the stuff that they had on. And it's just like, even with this, y'all, like, virtue and modesty is an inward thing. So once you do it spiritually, it will manifest outwardly. Like, some people, they try to play the role, but I'm talking about really being on a modesty journey. It will turn things around in your life. It will allow all of that negative stuff in the ground that you gave. Because when you put all that stuff on, understand, and I'm talking to my people from a higher perspective, people that's, like I said, that know what I'm talking about. Because people that don't want to receive truth, or they're not where they should be at as of 2021. Because maybe it's just not meant for you to see at this particular time, or Yash been trying to show you and you just not listening to what he's saying. So that's why I said I love the amazingness yet simplicity of Yah. He will hide stuff in plain sight, and the people that's supposed to get it, it will get it. They could, and the other people that read the Torah, the scriptures, the Bible, they will not get it. They could read it but not have an overstanding of it. So people don't have an overstanding of, when they choose all that vanity, women, they choose all that vanity, they're giving the enemy legal ground to wreak havoc in their life. And you see it. So you putting the strange hair, and like I said, sisters, I'm not trying to come for y'all. I'm just trying to give y'all a cautionary. You putting that on your head, and it's like, boom, glory been extracted from you. So you covering up your glory that has been given to you by the Most High Yah, been given to you. You covering that up with something else, okay? You don't know. And a lot of the times, and like I said, from a worldly perspective at the time, spending thousands of dollars, hundreds of dollars on the human hair, okay? Then you got to get the install. The braids is ripping out your edges. Then you got the bald method technique where it's just snatching people's edges out. So it's like it's taken from you. That's what the enemy does. He gives you something like, oh, you think it is a good idea. And it takes from you. It's never a good idea. Because you thinking that you winning, and boom, you thinking you got a look, but boom, the person that ran off with the glory. You don't went and got your hair braided. You don't know what this lady lifestyle is into. Boom, extracted your virtue and your glory and ran off on the plug. So you gotta understand that, women, you gotta be cautious with the stuff that you do, or the makeup products that you use, and you don't know, like some of the names of the lipsticks and the stuff and all kind of stuff. That's when I knew. I'm like, I seen a commercial, and the first thing they said on the commercial, they was like, makeup is a ritual. I don't know, like y'all had kind of heightened my discernment to certain stuff. And I said, I'm leaving it alone, Father. I'm gonna just leave all of it alone. I told y'all I threw thousands of dollars worth of human hair in the garbage where it belonged. Wigs and everything. You can see the old videos on my channel. Y'all know this for a fact, that my hair always was laid. Threw it all away because I said, yeah, I'm choosing you. I'm choosing to walk the virtuous and righteous path, because a lot of women don't understand the destiny husband. That's why Yah says who he puts together, nobody could separate, no man could separate, right? So he has somebody for you, But what you do is you prolong your process to getting that person, or it could be anything, promotion, anything in your life that you want that Yah has for you. He want to give it to you. But when you have this stuff that comes from that other kingdom that's not the Most High Yah's, on that dark side, they have the legal access to extract. That's all I'm gonna say. So you putting on makeup, you thinking that, oh, I'm looking good out here, not knowing that spiritually the enemy is laughing. Look at her. She putting all this stuff on her face, honey. They done wished all kind of stuff over it, and honey, her husband can't see her, because that's not the face that Yah showed her husband who he was gonna marry. Okay, that's not the face that attracts the husband. You got on a face that may have attracted a spiritual spouse. Or when you're into the lifestyle of that they promote with this whole Jezebel, I need to look sensual and seductive, whatever, and Tatiana life is liberation. You messing with man over here, and I'm liberated, feminine, and free, not realizing that you're mortgaging off yourself with all of those soul ties. So modesty, like I said, is very necessary, because it will help you on your journey, number one, to get closer to the Most High Yah, and it will help you to leave the masculinity alone of all of that excess stuff that you don't need to be feminine in the first place. You don't need extensions and makeup and all the rest of that stuff to be feminine. And I know y'all heard of this, the cliche statement of less is more, but sometimes, like I said, the amazingness yet simplicity of Yah is beautiful. Okay, he gave us eyelashes. Y'all want to glue them Jones on, even though kind of like scientifically men are known to have longer lashes. You see how women, they be attracted to the masculine features, even though it's some women that, yeah, they do have long eyelashes, but they say typically, have you ever noticed that a lot of time men have really filled in brows, or they have really thick lashes? It's a masculine thing. I mean, that's just what I've noticed. Y'all leave it in a comment if y'all have noticed that. Or have you ever noticed that men just, certain things, it's just them. And it's just, as women, like I said, the less is more. I don't understand why we do this. Like, we'll cut off our eyebrows and then fill them in. Now, I can understand if you don't have eyebrows. I'm not talking about women that's going through health complications that is caused by health complications, because those women are in a different category. I don't feel like those women are struggling with vanity. I feel like naturally a woman, like, let's say if a woman is dealing with like alopecia, or she has a wellness situation to where she may have lost all her hair. We're not talking about those type of women, because those type of women, of course, they're gonna want to feel feminine with actual hair on their head and stuff like that. I'm talking about women who, they are suffering from trying to obtain vanity in these looks. Like I said, our sisters have dealt with this since our foremothers. This has been written about in the scripture. So this is why it talks about the broided hair, and don't over adorn yourself with the costly array. That's what it's talking about. It's not saying don't get braids. It's not saying don't do, don't want to look good. But when you're doing it to compete with one another, to seduce men, and you're using beauty as a form to do all this extra, then we got a problem. So this is why on the beginning of my journey, I decided to remove. Because when you remove, you clean out the old, in with the new, and y'all can do more for you in your life. So I hope that explains what is going on, because y'all probably, a lot of y'all have been asking, like, what is going on with you, KBC? What is going on? Now you know. So this is the first kind of like, you're seeing like the virtual podcast of the first episode of me talking about this. And I think I also might start, you know, talking a little bit more about this in other videos so that you guys can have a full understanding, because it's a lot to compact in one video. But I'll see y'all soon on the next video. Thanks so much for watching.